They didn't seem anything. They were offensive, clearly. Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of Business Blaze. What's going on? You can see the length of this video. Can you hear the drop of this script? That is heavy. That's because this is 27 pages long. Welcome to the first Epic Blaze in a long time. I originally complained about Epic Blazes because I was like, they're just as long and they only make the same amount of money as a regular video. And as you know, as has been brought up on this channel, I got a sweet little capitalist heart. And I was like, why would I do this? It costs more to write, have written. I mean, obviously I don't write these myself. What are you talking about? I can't even write. It costs more to get written. It takes ages to record. I'm gonna be here all morning, and also it obviously costs more in the meme department because Sam charges me per meme.
Okay.
Also, I've got a bit of a surprise for you guys, and honestly I've got a surprise for myself because this is not gonna go down well, but it's not written by Danny. There is a good reason for this. I've captured someone, that's not true. There is a good reason for this. I tried jangling. Is it wrangling or jangling or jingling? Whatever. I got Danny's chains and I was like, write more. And he was like, I can't. My hands aren't working. They were all cramped up. And I was like, all right, Danny, easy, son. I'll get someone else to write it this time. This person, Matthew, we'll call him Matty, but we won't. We'll call him Matthew. He actually writes for another channel I do, called Side Projects, which you might want to check out or you might not. It's less cocaine fueled than Business Blaze, but maybe it is a good laugh. Maybe you will like it. Maybe you won't. Matthew originally wrote for Side Projects, and I was like, listen, Matthew, do you want to write 27 pages? And he was like, no. And I'm like, please. And then he said yes. That's not actually how it went. He was actually quite keen to write for this channel, and I appreciate it, Matthew. Thank you. Everyone's gonna smash the dislike button, Matthew. Everyone's gonna say that they miss Danny. Don't take it to heart. I still love you. Let's do it. Oh, what is this video about? We're 5 minutes in. Me, I'm the worst YouTuber in the world. Everyone's like, Simon, get to the point, and I never do. And even now, in explaining how I never get to the point, I'm not getting to the point. This one is epic social media fails. Who doesn't love that? Because everyone knows on Business Blaze, the most popular videos, the ones where I have the most fun, the ones where we have the most laughs, are the ones where we on other people, so let's do it. Imagine this. It's mid-April 1912. Did the Titanic sink in 1912 or is that 1911? Also, what the are we doing? It's 1912. This is social media was not a thing, Matthew. I'm gonna say Danny in this video many times. I apologize, Matthew, and everyone watching who will become confused. Also, Matthew, if you're watching this, and I don't know, obviously you're under no obligation to watch the that I turn your script into, but if everyone starts commenting about getting you locked in the basement, don't worry, it's just a meme. Or is it? Allegedly. Somewhere in the North... Oh, we are talking about the Titanic. Somewhere in the North Atlantic, lookouts on the White Star Line's unsinkable 52,000-ton luxury liner RMS Titanic have just spotted a massive iceberg directly in the ship's path. They relay this information to the captain, but it's too late! The Titanic's steel hull shreds like aluminium foil as the ship and ice collide. We all know about this. We've all seen Titanic. Just a few hours later, the Leviathan slips beneath the icy waves, taking more than 1,500 passengers and crew with her. Hundreds more are adrift in lifeboats. Others are in the water, like Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. Yes, she co-starred in that movie. Meanwhile, more than 1,000 miles away in New York, an enterprising young marketing intern sips an organic oat milk latte and checks the Acme Mattress Company's official Twitter account. There's something big trending in the ocean about 400 miles south of Newfoundland. What is going on? It's 1912, Matthew. He had no idea where Newfoundland is, but people are fighting for their lives in the freezing water. Eager to make a name for himself, he leaps into action and he tweets, oh, this is... I see. I provided Matthew some of Danny's scripts as an example, and he's telling us a story. Oh, I am the worst boss ever. Hashtag really cold water equals mind over matter, and treading water makes you sleepy. 10% off mattresses for Titanic survivors. Box spring not included. Even the fake ones are cringe. But I can see this happening. Okay, so in 1912, organic oat milk and social media were still nearly a century away. Oh my god, organic oat milk is nasty shit. And there's people will be like, Simon, have you ever tried it, you hipster? Why do you have organic oat milk? And well, my kid is allergic to dairy. And listen, I'm one of those people. I am one of those people who's like, you know, oh, I'm allergic to gluten. No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm allergic to this. No, you're not. You just don't like it. Stop being a f***. And it turns out my kid is actually allergic to milk. Like, oh, because I know other people are like, is she really? Is she really? And I'm like, yeah, it was pretty intense. So we have all this like fake milk shit, and we tried the different ones, like the coconut is f***ing great. All the other stuff, like the oat milk, the almond milk, all of that shit, stop buying it. It's f***ing disgusting. Or also the other people who are like lactose intolerant and they think they're allergic to milk. And it's like, no, it just upsets your precious little tummy a little bit. You snowflake. Oh, smash that dislike button. But if social media had been around at the time... okay, wait, hang on. Okay, so in 1912, organic oat milk and social media were still nearly a century away. But if social media had been around at the time of the legendary maritime disaster, it's likely that at least one epic fail would have ensued. Because like Einstein said, two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe. I bet Einstein didn't say that, Matthew. Einstein's one of those people who it's like every quote in the world. It'll be like, if you've got an itchy butt, when you go to sleep, you're going to wake up with smelly fingers, Albert Einstein. Or you could equally attribute it, Mark Twain would maybe be more appropriate for that one, but you could chalk that up to Mark Twain and people would be like, yeah. And you'd go on Brainy Quote and you'd find it there and you'd be like, must be true because brainyquote.com is the source of all quotes and knowledge and honestly power. But the German-born physicist may have gotten it wrong, because aren't we all capable of infinite insensitivity, oblivious, and callousness too? Yeah, but he doesn't have to cover everything in the single quote, Matthew, otherwise it'd be really long. But I suppose as we're just making it up. Maybe Einstein did say that. If he did, have a go at me in the comments and then proceed to smash the dislike button. Let's take a look at some of the worst social media blunders in recent memory, and you can decide for yourself. Good. 10 minutes in and we're finally getting started. Welcome to Business Place. Oh, by the way, you can get this certified, this is brand new, this arrived yesterday, the Certified Legend t-shirt. I got it in this classy grey. I love grey. I know it's boring, but it looks great. Number 1, American Apparel. Oh, I always pronounce this wrong. Is it apparel? Apparel? No one gives a f***. Offers clothing discounts to hurricane survivors. Oh no, it's like the Titanic one, but actually true. Though running a promotion after a natural disaster is slightly less distasteful than doing it after a terrorist attack, it still stinks. Yeah, so what did you do? Yeah, no, well, it wasn't as bad as 9/11. It's like Business Place, not as bad as 9/11. Smash that dislike button. But hey, would you expect anything less from a company founded by a guy called Dove Cheney, who, in response to claims that he engaged in violent, aggressive, and inappropriate sexual behavior with his employees, said, sleeping with people you work with is unavoidable. Oh, when Hurricane Sandy slammed into the Caribbean and Atlantic coast of North America in late October 2012, it took the lives of more than 200 people in 8 countries, from Haiti to Canada, and caused $70 billion in damage to the United States alone. In fact, it was the 4th most destructive storm in US history, behind Katrina, Harvey, and Maria. Why do we have to give them names? Why can't we call them like Hurricane Death? That's a bad example. But we should not call them after people. It doesn't seem right. Because then every Katrina, or Hurricane Katrina, every Katrina, every Harvey, and every Maria who's born that year is going to be, oh, fuck. Katrina, like the hurricane, said no one ever. Though the storm made landfall near Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, some of its most devastating effects were felt up the coast in the mid-Atlantic states like New York, where the surge level in some parts of the city reached nearly 14 feet. Bloody hell. In, future units, that's like 14 feet. 2.5 meters, 3 meters? And a buoy in the harbor measured a 32-foot wave. To be clear, that's in New York's harbor, not in the open ocean. Yeah, 32 foot. That's high. That's real high. But they say when opportunity knocks. Not to miss out on this iconic brand, American Apparel decided that offering a 20% discount on clothes to anyone living in the affected area just made good business sense. Their initial email on the 30th of October read, in case you're bored during the storm, 20% off everything for the next 36 hours. Bored during a storm is, it's more like, oh, am I going to lose everything? Emotion I'm not having then? Boredom. It even included a map highlighting the states affected by Sandy, which had been upgraded to a tropical cyclone. It must have been just the relief that families cowering in flooded homes without power from North Carolina to Connecticut had been hoping for while in the throes of one of the 21st century's most epic storms. You know what other email they got? Dear person living in a tropical storm zone, your insurance premium is going to be 400% more expensive next year because you. I mean, what timing? In fact, all over the mid-Atlantic, bored, as in terrified, cold and hungry, Matthew and I, same page. It's really hard not to say Danny. Gay! Residents must have jumped up, made sure their kids hadn't drowned in the living room or died of hypothermia before wading into the bedroom, logging onto American Apparel's website and buying a few of those two-tone all-cotton t-shirts that they've been ogling for months. Two-tone t-shirts. Tone deaf company, bada bum bum. Oh, I'm bad at puns.
Don't do that again.
After all, they are made in the US of A. And don't forget to enter the promo code SANDYSALE at checkout. You didn't. Katerina discounts, 9/11 off. Oh, we're definitely going to want to do with 9/11. I already know it. I saw one like a mattress company doing a 9/11 advert. It's like, Online reaction was, as I would expect, overwhelmingly negative. Outraged Twitter warriors responded quickly and sharply, tweeting, I will boycott their stores! Retweet if you're with me! I'm with you, brother. And really, American Apparel? Sandy Sale, email blast, really? The lowest of the low. Retweet this if you're insulted. And, hey, American Apparel, people have died and others are in need. Shut up about your hashtag Sandy Sale. Others, not content with bashing them for their hurricane sale, mentioned their hypersexual ads and abundant sexual harassment lawsuits. But despite the blowback, Charney, what the an R and an N together look really like an M, but his name is Charney, said the company's Sandy marketing ploy was not a serious matter. Dude, it is though, isn't it? It's a hurricane that's killed a lot of people. And he didn't stop there, adding in an interview with Business Week, I don't think our marketing guys made a mistake. Part of what we want to do in these events is keep the wheels of commerce going. We're here to sell clothing. I'm sleeping well at night, knowing this was not a serious matter. Well, you're sleeping well at night because you're a bit of a bellend, allegedly. At least the other gaffers on this list admitted the error of their ways and apologized, but not these guys. That's why they're number one. Oh, so this is a ranked list. Good news, guys. If that's number one, this video is going to get progressively worse as we get to number... I don't know how many there are. There's a lot. Let's have a look. Fucking hell, there's 20. 21! We're going to be here forever.
Down! Get a hold of yourself!
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
So 21's going to be like, yeah, someone did something once. It was great. Number 2, Amy's Baking Company Meltdown. Never heard of this. We'll just name... If I've never heard of it, well, I'll mention it. I've never heard of Amy's Baking Company. I've heard of American Apparel, but still don't know how to pronounce it. Imagine how contentious 1 or 2 must be to make a guy like Gordon Ramsay throw up his hands in surrender and walk off into the sunset. I don't know. I feel like this is something Gordon Ramsay would do. He'd be like, oh, f***ing hell with a fuck. I hate it. I throw up on your food. And then he'd walk off into the sunset because he's Gordon Ramsay. Surprisingly, that's exactly what happens in sunny upscale Scottsdale, oh my god, that's a mouthful, Arizona, where an up-and-coming restaurant called Amy's Baking Company once resided. Husbands and wife owners, Amy and Sammy, fucking hell, Boozer-Glowans, and their eatery were featured on a season 6 episode of Ramsay's hit show Kitchen Nightmares in May of 2013. It's going to surprise absolutely no one that I've never seen a single episode of Kitchen Nightmares, and I never will. In May of 2013, in which he, like he always does, attempted to fix problems with staff, service, food, and negative reviews. Known for his brashness and take no prisoners approach, Ramsay delivers cringeworthy moments like few others, hence the great ratings. But things got off to a horrible start even before he arrived on site. While scoping out the restaurant, the film crew witnessed a heated argument between Sammy and 2 customers who claimed they'd been waiting an hour for pizza. Not good. Although who the f*** waits an hour for a meal? If I'm waiting at a restaurant, they take my order and I wait an hour, I've left. I have definitely left. I'd be like, where's my food? It's pizza. It takes like 5 minutes to make. Tammy insisted they pay for their drinks and leave, and had it not been for a concerned cameraman stepping in, a fight would have likely ensued. This is the worst restaurant ever. And the indignant Amy apparently berated the remaining customers before storming into the kitchen. Later, Ramsay learns that the waitstaff were required to hand over their tips to Sammy, after which he indignantly informs diners that all the tips go to the restaurant's management. You have no idea how to run a restaurant, and you also seem like a right knob. Ramsay and Sammy engage in an intense, profanity-ridden arguments. No surprises there. Look, I've never seen Kitchen Nightmares, but I know Gordon Ramsay has a show literally called The F Word. I know he swears a lot. I've never seen that either. Long story short, other confrontations occur, and Gordo is so flabbergasted by the owner's defiance and ineptitude that he storms off, marking the only time in the show's history that he was unable to complete his mission. Wait, he succeeds every time? What a hero. I mean, because I thought he'd be dealing with this every time. Nevertheless, the episode aired. Yeah, because it's good TV. After which the boozer go whatevers were ruthlessly attacked on social media, and thankfully for us, their responses were nasty, odd, incoherent, and downright legendary. I'm not sure if Matthew knows about the legend meme on this channel, but I like that he uses the word legendary. You see where this is going, right? Then let's just get to the tweets and put this thing to rest. We'll include them without comments because they speak for themselves. Speak for yourself, Matthew. I'm probably going to add some dumb comments. To all you Yelpers and Reddit, bring it on, you are pussies. All caps, next. I am Wonder Woman. Are you smoking crack? Like, what's going on? And let's not forget this gem. You people are all shit. Yelp shit, Reddit shit, every shit. Come to here. I will f***ing show you all. The end. Look, no one's gonna come. I don't know if this is some, like, reverse psychology marketing bull here. Yeah, my restaurant's the best. You all suck. No one's gonna come. No one's gonna come and prove you wrong. People just don't care. That's just it. That's indifference. Like, it's always why I say, smash the like button, smash the dislike button. The thing that is worst in any business that requires attention, whether it be me on YouTube or a restaurant, is just indifference. Where it's like no one cares. Actually, I don't know. In this case, I think it's just worse. Number 3, Adidas's Boston Marathon email. Oh, I've heard of this one. They say, like, congratulations for surviving the Boston Marathon. It's like the year after the Boston bombing. It's like, dude, Adidas. Spoiler alert. Admittedly, there's no such thing as an insignificant terrorist attack. Yeah, there is. There's like a guy, I'll give you an example of an insignificant terrorist attack. A guy takes a butter knife from his kitchen, he goes out onto the street and tries to stab a dog and fails. It's insignificant. It is insignificant, it doesn't get covered by the media, fortunately no one cares. And though the Boston Marathon bombing resulted in relatively few deaths, it shocked the world and reopened still fresh wounds left over from the attacks of 9/11. The race had been an icon in running circles for more than a century, but in 2013, motivated by what they saw as America's wars of aggression against Muslim compatriots in Iraq and Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstani, I feel like I should know how to pronounce the name of that country. Maybe I do. American brothers, Dokar and Tameri and Sarniev. I don't care about pronouncing the terrorists' name correctly because they're terrorists. Detonated 2 homemade bombs near the finish line, taking the lives of 3 spectators. However, despite the deadly episode, steadfast athletes, organizers, and running enthusiasts demanded that the much-loved annual event continue uninterrupted, which it has every year since 2013. I love it because the terrorists. You will never win. There's just not enough of you. But in 2017, the race's end was partially marred by German global sports apparel powerhouse Adidas when it put its foot or shoe in its corporate mouth, by sending an email to finishers stating, yeah, congrats, you survived the Boston Marathon. I got it surprisingly correct. Normally my memory is a bit shit. Ironically, had it not been for the disaster years before, it would have been a totally acceptable statement. After all, finishing a marathon is a feat worthy of praise. I've never done it. I've done a half marathon, which I was quite pleased with, and then I was like, well, that was horrible. I won't do that again, or a full one. And also, doesn't it your body? Like, I was like, full marathon, the body's not designed to do that. Just go for a run. Don't overdo it. But some saw its unwitting or intentional reference to surviving as particularly inappropriate. Though it may not have been as blatantly ignorant as some of the fails on this list, the public didn't waste any time expressing their disapproval, tweeting, Adidas, you messed up royally. And I know this has good intentions, but it could really be taken the wrong way. Yeah, in this one, I don't think this is so bad, because someone made that tweet, someone didn't put 2 and 2 together, no one's being an intentional dickhead. But this guy, someone at Adidas just got it wrong. In a statement to Time magazine, they apologized, saying, we're incredibly sorry. Clearly, there was no thought given to the insensitive email subject line that we sent Tuesday, adding, the Boston Marathon is one of the most inspirational sporting events in the world. Every year, we're reminded of the hope and resiliency of the running community at this event. Though the reputation took a hit, it was temporary, as most saw their misstep just as a poor choice of words, yes, and not an outright attempt to capitalize on a tragedy. I completely agree. I think Adidas handled that incredibly well. One of the things when you make a mistake, I've made plenty of mistakes. I've said things I regret, and I've put them out in the world, and people are like, Simon, that's not right. And I'm like, yeah, no, that was a mistake. Like, admit it. Like, own it. And also, if you don't, like, there's also I've said, and people have been like, that's inappropriate, that's not okay, and I'm not apologizing for that because I don't think it's wrong. But then when I do something that I feel is wrong, and people feel is wrong as well, then I'll be like, yeah, I did that, and I'm sorry, it was inappropriate, I'll try and do better. And I like to think that I try and do better. Number 4, Home Depot's, or Depot's, whatever, racist tweet. This one's hard to even write about without sounding well racist. Oh god, here we go. Speaking of things I have to apologize for in the future. In November 2013, Home Depot's advertising department seriously dropped the ball on a college game day tweet that showed, get this, a guy in an ape suit flanked by 2 African American men, all of whom were playing drums on upside down 5-gallon buckets. In and of itself, it's pretty odd and cringeworthy, but the tweet then said, which drummer is not like the others? Ah, I see what you mean, Matthew. This is very bad. As in, who can tell the difference between a black guy and a chimp? Thankfully, they did delete it minutes later, but it's so unimaginably stupid that it begs the questions. What exactly were they trying to say in the first place? Why is this Home Depot? They're like a DIY store, right? I don't think we have it in the UK or in Europe. I think we'd call this Home Base, or Wix's, or any of these other stores that I've not been to for years. What are they possibly trying to say? And this has got something to do with sports, college game day. I don't even know what that is. Oh, this is another thing. Danny, normal writer Danny's British, so I'm like, okay, I get his references. Matthew's American, so I'm like, what? But I think it'll be fun, because I like getting confused, and then people explain it to me in the comments, and I learn more about American culture. So what are they trying to say in the first place? What does it have to do with college football or a home improvement store? There we go, I should read these ahead. To answer both is, of course, the answer, I don't know. It just really stinks of sheer stupidity. Wait, so they did like a photo shoot and put this out? This was really thought about. Of course, viewers saw it as racist. Shocking, because comparing black men to a chimp, or at least a man in a chimp suit, is actually pretty racist, or at least racially insensitive. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty racist, Jesus Christ. They were, of course, blasted on social media. We never know if it was intentionally posted by a disgruntled worker looking to go out with a bang, or if the sender had a deep-seated axe to grind with African Americans, but after the Twitter sphere exploded, the tweet was deleted and the company apologized saying, deeply sorry for the dumb tweet, we deleted it. I can't believe that a big company like this, well, one, surely this wasn't someone being intentionally racist and trying to get fired or anything like this. Surely it's just got to be someone who is just so blind. Or so it's got to be incompetence, right? Not racism. I don't know. Although in the previous episode of these, we did more social media fails or advertising fails. And there was the one where Heineken was talking about sometimes light is better and then sliding a beer past all of these black dudes. And then a white dude at the end of the bar picks it up. It's like, guys, what? And some people were like, that wasn't intentionally racist. And I'm like, who the passed it then? Stephen Harms, director of corporate communications, added, we have zero tolerance for anything so stupid and offensive. Deeply sorry. We terminated the agency and individually posted it. That's called shifting blame right there. It's from the PR playbook. He also stated they'd more closely review their social media posting procedures in the future, which is obviously a pretty great idea, Home Depot. But Home Depot never disclosed the guilty party's identity, which some apparently saw as a big blow-off. One tweeter probably summed up the words, the whole story at their best, saying, it was an attempt to be clever, I guess, but instead it just played out as an old, horrendously racist caricature. Yes. Co-host of the NBC morning show Today said, it's hard to believe that actually made it into the public domain. Aren't there checks and balances in place to prevent things like this from happening? I guess not. Yeah, you pretty much hit it on the nail on the head there. Also, the guy who made it and posted it, I can understand why they wouldn't want to reveal that individual's identity, because he's going to get absolutely roasted for what might have just been a mistake. Yes, a really dumb mistake. Or maybe he's a racist. If it turns out, if they did an investigation, it was like, no, I did it on purpose because I wanted to get fired and I'm actually a member of the KKK. Number 5, Dove uses miraculous racial transformation. Oh no. 2 racist ones in a row. I don't know why, but it's like companies just like, stop being racist, all right? I know it's not as simple as just like, hey, it'd be great if you could just stop being racist. Just stop it. Just leave it behind. Most black people resent the insinuation that being white is somehow better. Yeah, no f***ing surprise. Go figure. You'd think Dove would know that. You think everybody would. According to Dove's website, women are so bombarded with beauty standards that are downright unattainable that they undervalue themselves and think that they pale in comparison. Dove is well known as an international cosmetic and beauty product brand with a largely female client base, and as such, many of their marketing campaigns promote empowerment while encouraging women of all shapes, sizes, and degrees of attractiveness to feel comfortable in their own skins. Well, good for them. That's a positive message, I suppose. Look, I use Dove, not for any choice. I don't buy the soaps in my house, but I go in the shower, there's a big thing of Dove, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna clean my body with that. Well, perhaps feeling comfortable in their own skins isn't the best way to put it, because in a bizarre Facebook advertisement from October of 2017, they seem to imply that it's better to be something you're not. The advert in question features an attractive black woman in a brown t-shirt transforming into a similarly attractive orange-haired ginger woman while in a white t-shirt, supposedly after applying copious amounts of Dove lotion. Dove, what the f***? Some of these are not even funny. They're just like so cringe. They obviously did intend for that to be the message. It'd be a bit weird if they did. The KKK. Brought to you by Dove. But obviously they didn't intend that to be the message, but many viewers took it to mean that being white was somehow more desirable than being black, and that with Dove's help, the seemingly impossible transformation could become a reality. After countless messages from upset women of all races, Dove took down the post and issued this apology. An image we recently posted on Facebook missed the mark in representing women of colour thoughtfully. We deeply regret the offence it caused. The visual was intended to convey that Dove body wash is for every woman and be a celebration of diversity, but we got it all wrong, and as a result, we offended many people. Now, I will say, and boy am I going to get in trouble for defending Dove here, but Dove do have, as far as I understand it, from Matthew's comments here, quite a good history with being like all-inclusive and all of that stuff, and women of all races and stages of beauty, that's not a thing, levels of beauty and weight and all of this. And so I'm going to go ahead and wildly guess that they just made a mistake. But still, an apology is necessary. All in all, 2017 was a very forgettable year for Dove, because as part of their ongoing Real Beauty campaign, they also unveiled a new body wash in the UK that came in a number of different bottles designed to celebrate body positivity by mimicking women's diverse body types. But alas, it left some users with bottle body envy, while others were just downright confused. That does seem very confusing. But compared to the black woman turning into a white woman after using Dove, I mean, that's like a f***ing win in comparison. Number 6, 9/11 pizza flag. According to statisticbrain.com, sounds like a fun website, Americans consume 3 billion pizzas annually. Fucking hell, how many people are in America? 300 million? So that's 10 pizzas a year per person. One pizza, yeah, I eat more pizza than that. Okay. But then I guess that counts every baby. My baby, 11 months old, doesn't eat, one pizza a month on average. Americans generally despise terrorists, stating the obvious. Who's like, oh yeah, no, that country loves terrorists. Americans generally despise terrorists and the heinous acts that they commit, but that doesn't mean there's any connection between the two. Between what? Between the terrorists and the heinous acts? Or the pizzas and the I'm so confused. There's definitely a solid connection between the terrorists and the terrorism. It's why they call it terrorists and terrorism. Oh yeah, how about this for a joke? What's this? It's a terrorist. Oh! Fucking weak. In fact, that's not my joke, obviously. My jokes are equally unfunny, but that is particularly bad. In fact, using the latter to sell more of the former doesn't quite sit well with average folks. Okay, so we're comparing selling pizza to terrorists. So, nearly 3,000 people died as a result of the September 11th, 2001 attacks. By 2019, Maryland-based pizza chain figured that the proverbial smoke had cleared sufficiently to engage in a good old-fashioned marketing. It hasn't. I know it's 18 years later, but you shouldn't be using 9/11 to sell pizzas. I mean, I don't want to say I'm some sort of marketing genius, but I did take a marketing course at undergrad at university. And I will say that if you want to hire me to look over it before you put it out, I'm available. I'm very expensive, but I am available. Send me an email. Even then, enough so that on the anniversary of the tragic event, Lido Pizza, a 100-peat restaurant chain known for its square pizzas, genius, tweeted a photo of a sloppily made pie made to resemble the good old stars and stripes with the hashtag #NeverForget. Look, I'm not American. We have a very different relationship with our flag in the UK. We have, I'm from England, originally south of England, and we have the Union Jack, which is the flag for the whole of, look, I don't know, look, people are like, what's the difference between the UK, Great Britain, England, Ireland, Wales, Northern, I'm confused. I'm as confused as anyone. I've made a video about it, I'm still confused. Don't tell me in the comments what it is, I don't care. But we have two flags. We've got the Union Jack, which is kind of like the countries all mashed together into one cool looking flag. And then we've got, I think it's called the St. George's Cross, which is just the flag for England. My relationship generally when I see someone waving a flag is to me that one, you're really into football, or two, you're a bit of a nationalist. And either of those things, I don't like you. Like, I'm not into your sport. Find football incredibly boring. I mean, why is football so interesting? It's people running around a pitch. There's literally, like, a good game, there'll be 3 points. 3 goals. It's just running around for the rest of the time and kicking each other, and then someone falls down, has a massive old hissy fit and a cry when you're a grown-ass man, and then they look at the slow replay and it's like, they didn't even touch him. What the f*** is wrong with football? Why does anyone like this? I don't understand. Let's ban it. What the are we talking about? Football really gets me going, almost as much as terrorism. Oh yeah, so the flags. And I feel Americans, you have a different relationship with your flag. You go to America, there's flags everywhere. Like, as soon as you land in America, it's like the first thing you see is a flag. You get off the plane, there's probably a flag on the side of the plane. Then there's a big flag. There are flags flying from the ceilings of, like, I don't know, random American airport. And then you go through and it's like you're going through customs. Everyone's wearing a flag. All of the police officers got flags on their uniforms. I don't know if they do, but it feels like that, and it's a bit weird. From someone who's from the UK, where it's like, if you're waving a flag about it, it's like, steady on. Instead of stars, it featured black olives for stripes, uneven rows of pepperoni that curled around the edges, forming saucers containing unappetizing pools of liquid grease. Indignant netizens called it the most tone-deaf 9/11 brand tweet ever to be posted and said, "How dare you trivialize our nation's most impactful tragedy in recent memory with a goddamn pizza flag," and called them tactless clods. I mean, I don't see it as like, no one's being like, terrorism's great. They're just being a bit, it's just a bit tone deaf, isn't it? Isn't it really? The caustic social media blowback worked, and the newly enlightened, patriotic geniuses at Lido promptly saw the error of their ways, admitting that their culinary-based ploy at solidarity, it's not that, you're just trying to sell more pizzas, you f***s. Don't be like, we're just trying to be patriotic. No, you're not. One, you're a company, and two, you're just not. You're just not. They responded on September the 12th by tweeting, "Again, if you're familiar with Lido Pizza, you'll know that we would never intentionally do anything to dishonor our flag, and we hoped..." I love how, like, I just spent the first 5 minutes of this entry all over the UK flag, because we don't care about it. We hope you can find in your heart to forgive us for this misstep. Hashtag we are sincerely sorry. I also think Lido Pizza doesn't quite understand hashtags. Like, hashtag sorry could maybe work. Hashtag sincerely sorry be a bit weird. Hashtag we are sincerely sorry? What are you doing? As mea culpas goes, it's not a bad one. Hey Dove, take note. The company took down their original post and replaced the pizza with an actual flag, but it was one giant genie that couldn't be put back in the bottle. Apparently though, their pizza isn't as tasteless as their marketing schemes, because they're still in business. Maybe it's because square pizzas taste better than round ones. They don't, but we used to have square pizzas at school, because, you know, in like a school canteen, we called it a refectory. I don't know why. I like the name refectory though. Is it refectory or reflectory? Refectory. Building was the refectory. It's this big building where we'd all eat, and all of the pizzas would be made in these big, you know, squares, and they were like the thick-based ones. Ugh. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. Pizzas should be round. Number 7, underage fiasco at the Spearmint Rhino. Oh, we're moving straight from racism into pedophilia. Oh wait, we had terrorism in between the two. Woo! What do you get when you hire Roman Polanski to handle marketing for a well-known international strip club? Well, that's not exactly what happened with Spearmint Rhino's Melbourne, Australia branch. Not surprisingly, Matthew. But the outcome was about what you'd expect. In late 2013, the gurus at Spearmint Rhino devised a clever marketing scheme in which they posted childhood pictures of their performers on their Facebook page. No one wants to go, like, you know, the script goes like, "Oh yeah, I remember, I saw that picture of you when you were 8. Said no one f***ing ever. Why? That is f***ing weird. That is weird. The idea was that giddy testosterone-filled viewers and club regulars would be able to guess which picture was of which performer. Sounds harmless enough. What could possibly go wrong? F***ing everything, Matthew. Perhaps not much, at least until it was discovered that one of the photos included a date from the late 1990s, which after a little math put the girl in question somewhere about 14 or 15 years. It got worse. Oh no, that's fucked up. Oh, not nearly enough to work at a strip club. Yeah, no shit. Oh, it got worse. I was like, this is already a f***ing terrible idea. Whoever your marketing agency is should be f***ing fired for part 1. And then, oh my god, are you serious? That is embarrassing. Tacky, tasteless, and insensitive may be subjective, but a child performing at an adult entertainment venue is just wrong. Not to mention f***ing illegal. Number 8, IHOP's anti-Hillary Clinton retweet. Oh no, this is great. I love it when someone like almost unintentionally retweets something that they just don't understand. Like when a company retweets something that's like, you know, an internet meme about like QAnon or like a conspiracy theory, and they just like it in, you know, out of context, but put into context, it turns out that they've done something horrible. Let's see. Neither race, debatable, religion, well maybe religion or nationality, okay maybe nationality too, brings out the ugliness in people more than politics. Boy, does it. Put 50 Hillary supporters in a room with 50 Trump lovers and see what happens. Along those lines, in January 2017, just a few months after the 2016 election that pitted Hillary against the Donald, Twitter feeds all over the country are usually responsible for delivering little more than endless images of calorie-laden IHOP grub, started an anti-Hillary tweet that made her forlorn supporters see red. The retweeted tweet said, "Also good morning to everyone except Americans who don't want to accept the simple fact that Hillary Clinton had a major garbage campaign." One, that is a terribly worded tweet. Whoever originally wrote that, you're incompetent. Two, I thought this would be something, as I mentioned in the beginning, that they accidentally retweeted when it was, out of context. They didn't understand it, but this just seems that they are anti-Hillary. Okay, bit of a weird thing for a large corporation to say. You were literally going to piss off half the people who come to your restaurant. Or slightly more than half, because didn't Hillary get more votes than Donald Trump? That's up, by the way. That's a whole other issue, but that's up, right? Like, more people vote, millions of people more voted for Hillary, but Donald Trump's the president. What the People have been in the comments, Simon, it's just how the system works. They have this ours is also up in the UK, so don't worry about it. But also do worry about it. We should both worry about it. What am I talking about? Let's carry on. IHOP immediately did some much needed housekeeping by deleting the post, but they provided no explanation as to why they'd retweeted it. It must have been accidental. Or someone was logged into their personal Twitter account. Because look, I got like millions of YouTube accounts, and I have my personal YouTube accounts. There's no content on it, it's just where I watch videos. But if I could post on there, like there was my own personal and then I went on to not Business Place because it's crazy, but onto Today I Found Out and started tweeting my own super racist beliefs. Just kidding. I could see how that could accidentally happen. Someone who's a racist, or not racist, just a Hillary hater, thinks they're logged into their personal Twitter account, and then they're like, oh, I'm logged into my corporate account. Because they handle Twitter for IHOP or IHOP. What the it calls? Who knows? Let's carry on. What are we talking about? In fact, their response was terse and unapologetic. After investigation, we've confirmed that our account was hacked this morning. We appreciate our fans bringing this to our attention. Okay, that's fair. I mean, if your account get hacked. But for many, it was a far cry from the politician-style groveling and pandering that they were expecting. So much so that they called for a boycott like this one. IHOP, because of your disgusting retweet, I plan on going to Denny's Diner. Shame on you. #boycott.
Daddy, chill.
Last time I was in the US, I went to a Denny's for breakfast. I think I was heading to the airport and I was pretty hungry. I ordered some pancakes and some syrup, it wasn't bad. And I was looking through the menu because it's weird. In American menus, at least this is weird to me, all of the calories are listed. And I'm like, that's terrible. I don't need to know that information. F you. It just feels like a piece of shit. And I'm just going through and I'm like, what's the most calorific drink? There was a fucking milkshake that had 1,500 calories. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Don't know where that came from. In other words, I'll take my 44-inch waist, clogged arteries, and business elsewhere, thank you very much. Others were a bit less judgmental, opting instead to cajole further explanation from the beloved pancake chain. Is it beloved? I've never been to it. I don't know what it's like. I mean, I do like pancakes, but I suggest you offer an explanation instead of just deleting. They did. They said it was hacked. And that's it. That's the entire statement. Apology ? Deny these sentiments? Response lacking. But there were those who agreed with the tweet too. It was a good tweet, and you should feel good. #Bernie would have won. Oh! And that's the only good thing you ever did. They did explain it though. They said their account was hacked. They decided not to apologize. I'm not entirely against IHOP on this one. That last one should probably be discounted though, because it was obviously written by someone who's never eaten at IHOP. The takeaway here should be that vehement apologies are always in order, even when social media blunders are a result of hacked accounts. It just makes people feel morally superior, which is always a good thing. Yeah, okay, maybe I learned something myself. I should always apologize for mistakes that aren't mine. That. Number 9, would you rather? The Snapchat way. In this installment of Who is Managing Your Social Media Account, we'll take a look at a particularly egregious offense committed by Snapchat. Growing up in America, and maybe elsewhere, kids play a funny game in which they propose different situations to one another, like Would You Rather. Oh boy, yeah, I know this game. Assuming two boys are playing, it goes something like this. Hey Charlie, would you rather eat cat shit or kiss Jenny Thompson? You get the idea. In theory, it's not without merit for marketing and advertising purposes, but there's a catch. You've got to do it correctly. For example, if McDonald's were to run an ad, they could say, would you rather eat a Whopper or flog yourself with a rusty bicycle chain? Which, that's not going to work well for McDonald's because everyone will be like, well, obviously, even if you don't like Whoppers, even if you don't like Burger King, and you much prefer McDonald's, you're still going to be like, look, whipping myself with a rusty bicycle chain sounds like a f***ing tetanus nightmare, so I'm going to eat the f***ing Whopper. Because, look, if you like McDonald's, I don't know, I like them both. I'm like, I don't care. It's good. If I'm hungry, I'll eat both. It's a reasonable burger. They're both reasonable burgers. I'd probably go for a Big Mac. And then on the side, I would have Burger King fries because everyone knows that King fries are better. And if you don't think that, you're just dumb. But Snapchat took things entirely too far in 2018 when they posed the question, would you rather slap Rihanna or punch Chris Brown? Guys, what? I am so out of touch with pop culture, but I am vaguely aware Chris Brown, isn't he a singer? He was a singer back in the day, but he's also some other dude. Look, there's Chris Brown. I know Rihanna is. Chris Brown was married to Rihanna or was Rihanna's boyfriend or something. And did he beat the out of her in a lift? Allegedly. I'm just going to say allegedly in case that's not what happened. So obviously, it's like, yeah, I want to punch Chris Brown because he's a dickhead. Whereas Rihanna got beaten up. Not her fault. At first, it only gives two options, both of which are violent and illegal. Strike one. Yeah, but I mean, who punched Chris Brown? Sounds alright. Second, years before in 2009, Chris Brown assaulted then-girlfriend Rihanna in a Lamborghini the night before the Grammys, which made it personal and real. Wait, so who got beaten up in a lift? I thought I saw the video of that. Strike two. Wait, so did he beat her up twice? I'm so confused. Pictures released later showed Rihanna with a split and swollen lip, black eye, and abundant bruises, but Brown was only sentenced to 5 years probation, a year of domestic violence counseling, and a few months of community service, so he didn't go to prison. I feel like if you beat the out of your wife, you should probably go to prison, son. Bowing to relentless criticism from Rihanna and others, Snapchat pulled the ad. It was an ad? What is Snapchat? I thought that was where you sent pictures to each other that expire. How is this advertising Snapchat? Snapchat pulled the ad and issued a surprisingly uninspiring statement admitting that it had violated its own guidelines. Strike three. In response, Rihanna posted on Instagram, I'd love to call this ignorance. It's not ignorance. It seems very intentional. Like what? But I know you ain't that dumb. You spent money to animate something that would intentionally bring shame to DV victims and make a joke about domestic violence. Her actions, along with the company's mind-numbing, inappropriate content, succeeded in reducing the value of Snapchat's parent company, Snap Inc., by nearly $1 billion. Fucking mwah! Later, a company spokesman admitted that the ad was disgusting and never should have appeared on their service. Obviously. You f***ing dumb. He also apologized, calling it a terrible mistake and vowed to investigate the incident to ensure that it never happens again. About time, mate. Number 10. Cinnabon's culinary eulogy. At the risk of sexualizing an iconic and much-loved, though now deceased actress, it bears saying that for many young boys growing up in the era, Prince Leia was, well, use your imagination, like the boys did. I don't know this. I saw one Star Wars. No, I've seen two Star Wars. One when I was a kid, then I saw the recent one, and I'm just not into the whole thing. I'm not into Princess Leia. I don't even know who played her. Oh, Carrie Fisher. There we go. Who cares? I don't.
Calm down, Anakin.
You'll recall that in Star Wars, Princess Leia, played by Carrie Fisher, had two adorable cinnamon bun-shaped lobes in her hair, one over each ear. Yeah, it was a great look. Actually, their resemblance to real cinnamon buns was striking, which may have been why Cinnabon, an American purveyor of cinnamon buns, and other treats with over 1,000 stores in 4 countries, decided to use them and her in a December 2016 tribute tweet a few days after the actress's death. Look, companies, I'll give you a bit of free advice right now. When someone dies, or a large group of people dies, just don't. You might think it's appropriate, you might think that it's tasteful, but it isn't. You're welcome. Immediately after she passed away from sudden cardiac arrest, loyal fans from around the globe took to social media to pay their respects, but unlike most of their kind words, Cinnabon's response wasn't exactly to everyone's taste. It read, R.I.P. Carrie Fisher, you'll always have the best buns in the galaxy. This is not nearly as bad as some of the others on this list, but it is just not appropriate. And the tweet also included a picture of the Star Wars character made from cinnamon and confectioner's sugar with a big cinnamon bun over her ear, where it would have been in the movie. Again, the backlash was prompt. Some say it was tacky and in poor taste. And those people are absolutely correct. While others took it a step further, branding it the world's most tasteless reaction to a celebrity death. Look, I mean, say that, then watch this video, okay? Because there's been worse shit. It'll be like, Simply Safe, or one of those home security companies advertising about keeping your kids safe right after Michael Jackson died. It's like, not really appropriate, like any way you cut it.
I just identify so much with children, their innocence, the beauty.
But unlike the gaffes committed by other soulless corporations on this list, this one was open to debate. In fact, some fans thought it was cute, and even stated that Carrie Fisher wouldn't have taken offense. She may have even gotten a kick out of it. Nonetheless, despite the mixed bag of responses, Cinnabon's reaction was wise and politically astute when they said, our deleted tweet was genuinely meant as a tribute, but we shouldn't have posted it. We are truly sorry. You know how Carrie Fisher felt about this? nothing because she's dead. It's like if some company like now did something, you know, to promote themselves, I don't know, making fun of me or whatever, or tributing me, I'd be like, well, I can get upset about it or I can't. But if they do it after I'm dead, I couldn't possibly care because I'm dead. And after you die, there's just a endless... I always like the comparison. It's like, remember the Tudors? You know, or do you remember the American Revolution? No, of course you don't. Like, and after you die, it's just like that. Depressing. Welcome to Business Blaze. They said, our deleted tweet was genuinely meant as a tribute, but we shouldn't have posted it. We are truly sorry. Appropriate reaction. In their defense, they posted the image to Twitter a few years before to celebrate Star Wars Day, so it's not exactly like they were Johnny-come-latelys to the whole capitalizing on the hard work and success of others game. I don't know. That seems like fun. If she's alive, it's all fair game. I don't think she's gonna mind. Capitalizing on the hard work and success of others. I'll give them a pass on that one. Is that so bad? Matthew and I, not on the same page. Ooh. But one wonders if they did it to pay tribute or to move more product to hapless mourners and movie lovers. They're a corporation, of course they did it to sell more shit. Why are we even questioning that? Also, I feel like it's as if I pay Matthew per page because he just left me a giant gap in there. I don't know why. Number 11. Miel's International Women's Day post. In a classic stand-up bit, Rodney Dangerfield recalled once asking his wife what she wanted to do on their anniversary. "Take me someplace I've never been, Rodney," she said. "How about the kitchen?" he replied. Oh, ba-da-bum-bum. I actually like that a lot. Whoever this Rodney Dangerfield guy is, he's probably pretty funny. Though gender stereotypes can be a laugh a minute, they're generally touchy subjects these days. But apparently German appliance manufacturer Miel didn't get the memo. Yeah, it's like, yeah, they can be touchy subjects, but in a stand-up comedy routine, I'm gonna let a lot fly because it's comedy. But if a company starts doing it, you're like, guys. Guys. Though it's not so well known stateside, Miel is one of the largest manufacturers and washers and dryers. And on International Women's Day in March 2019, they decided to put profits before common sense by insulting a significant portion of their clientele. In a careless and insensitive throwback to decades past in which married women were typically relegated to housewives and stay-at-home mums, they succeeded in reinforcing a stereotype that most women have been trying to outrun for generations. Their post featured 4 attractive women sitting and standing behind a washer and a dryer, both of which were front loaders. In case you were wondering, I wasn't. Like, top loading washing machines, not a thing in Europe. I mean, are they? I've never had one. Every washing machine I've had, you put the in the front and then you close the door. It doesn't go in the top. I don't even know why they're 2 different options. It couldn't possibly go in the top of mine because right on top of the washing machine is the dryer. There's a big multi-layer cake between them too, and confetti. The copy said, "May all women remember to embrace what makes them unique. Happy International Women's Day." How can you possibly think this is a good move? Like, what is going on? It obviously wasn't their intention. The image and text both missed the mark by a wide margin. The ad implied that housework like laundry is the exclusive domain of women, which most women found insulting. Yeah, no shit, what could the possible other message be? Like all social media missteps, their post sparked tons of indignation, which led the company to remove it just hours after going live. What they didn't do, however, was issue a formal apology or even an explanation. Really, I have to say, like, yeah, someone should apologize, blah, 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 blah. But there is this very much this outraged culture that everyone must apologize for every little slight. And I'm like, doesn't that make it so, like, when someone does up and issue an actual apology, it makes it, like, less worthwhile? We don't need to apologize for everything. And with this, it's like, a bit like, yeah, we screwed up, we're sorry. But I don't think it needs to be some affair. Really, the latter probably would have sufficed as an explanation, as one wonders how they expected anyone to see the connection between washers and dryers and women celebrating the things that make them unique. Which Matthew has spelled uniqueen. It's a new one to me. In fact, there's really nothing unique about the women in the post at all. They are all attractive, white, and slim. Miel really should have mixed things up a bit, and here's an idea: included women of different races, heights, nationalities, body types, etc. They could have even included text in multiple languages. German, English, and Swahili would have done the trick. In 2019, it was really unforgivable. Yeah, I'm like, it's okay. Wait, is this okay? I mean, like, look, most advertising has attractive people in it. This makes sense. Like, I don't think that is something that is wrong. In 2019 it was unforgivable. There is a silver lining, and here it is. Regardless of how insensitive, oblivious, and politically incorrect you are, there's likely a position for you somewhere as a social media marketer. You bet there is. I would feel like if I was unemployed, I'd just put social media marketer in my bio or something, because it's like, yeah, tweet about stuff. I feel like it's just the most generic job title in the world. Number 12, a friend for a Whopper. Oh, I know this one, where the people, you would delete your friends on Facebook and they give you a free Whopper. I'd be all over that if I had Facebook. I have Facebook. I used to have a Facebook. I deleted it because I was like, this. Also, Facebook. Although I recently bought one of those Oculus Quest things, and because I was like, that looks cool. And someone had a go at me the other day for being a mindless consumer in my subreddit. Also, my subreddit has 950 subscribers. What the I mean, I don't want to say I'm a big deal, but 950 people? Get the over there, Reddit people. Reddit.com/r/Simon Whistler. It's not hard. Go over there and have a great time. Tell me I'm a mindless consumer. I don't care. I am. P.T. Barnum once said, "There's no such thing as bad publicity." Irish playwright and poet Oscar Wilde quipped. He's another one of these who he probably didn't actually say this. There's only one thing in the world worse than being talked about, and that's not being talked about, although that feels massively Oscar Wilde, doesn't it? Taking those words, except when they talked about how he was homosexual, and then he had to go to prison. He was probably not happy they talked about that. Taking those words to heart, in 2009, Burger King and its top-notch advertising agency offered hungry Facebook fans an interesting choice with their Whopper sacrifice. The deal was that if you unfriended 10 friends, they'd give you a coupon for a free Whopper. In other words, friendships would be thrown under the bus for a 10% stake in a Whopper, or way less than $1. The promotion's official site said, "Now is the time to put your fair-weather web friendships to the test. Install Whopper Sacrifice on your Facebook profile, and we'll reward you with a free flame-broiled Whopper when you sacrifice 10 of your friends." Okay, maybe I'm going to throw myself under the bus for my future PR consulting business, because I'm like, that's genius. That is genius. According to statistics, nearly 250,000 friendships were wiped out by more than 80,000 participants in just under a week. Pretty impressive numbers, especially considering that the promotion violated Facebook's privacy policy, which resulted in them pulling the plug long before things were ever able to run their natural course. Facebook's privacy policy. Facebook's reputation for privacy is down here somewhere. Low down. These unfriendings, in the name of a free, overly processed sustenance, were dubbed sacrifices, and in a cruel twist of fate, they showed up on daily activity feeds of those who'd been unfriended. Yeah, of course they did. Otherwise, it's just like you can quietly delete people and get a free Whopper. You want it to be out there as the marketing company, otherwise what's the point? Apparently they said something like Joe Smith sacrificed Phil McCracken for a free Whopper. Some were determined to take advantage of the promotion to its fullest and eat nothing but Whoppers for weeks, only to discover dejectedly that it was restricted to one coupon per account. Bummer. I'd have sacrificed hundreds of people for a free Whopper, because I like Whoppers. Had it not been for Facebook raining on the parade and this petty limitation, there's really no telling how far it would have gone. It could have destroyed Facebook. Burger King could have destroyed Facebook. I am not even joking. That would be disastrous for Facebook. I can see why they cancelled it. Admittedly though, this isn't so much a social media fail as it is a sordid curiosity. After all, who among us with more than 100 friends wouldn't sacrifice at least one of them for a free burger? Matthew, I would sacrifice all 100 for 10 free burgers, to be honest. Detractors called the stunt mean and aggressive. Snowflakes. But it was groundbreaking too, in that it was one of the first all social media marketing campaigns in the fast food industry, and it generated a ton of free press. It's literally 11 years later and we're still talking about it. It would make my f***ing day. Like, I mean, I work with a lot of sponsors. Less on Business Blaze, because look at this show. But I work with a lot of sponsors. I've never worked with anyone huge like Burger King or something. I worked with Google. They're pretty big. But that was also on like a sponsor bit of content. But working with Burger King, that'd be f***ing tight. Hit me up, BK. Kenneth Cole strikes again. Twice. Who the f*** Kenneth Cole? Back in early 2010, mass demonstrations began popping up in many North African and Middle Eastern countries. Things got underway in Tunisia with the Japanese Spring, but it quickly spread to other countries like Libya. Jasmine Spring, not Japanese Spring. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. There we go, because I read it wrong, like an idiot. It spread to other countries like Libya, Syria, Yemen, Egypt. Wasn't this called the Arab Spring? Where citizens fed up with everything from oppression and rising fuel costs to stagnant wages and poor education took to the streets against some of the most corrupt, oppressive, and well-entrenched regimes in the world. Since the Jasmine Spring gave rise to the more expansive Arab Spring, there we go. I mean, that'd be a bit of an error, wouldn't it? Like calling the Arab Spring the Jasmine Spring. Like people would go in the comments, Simon, you're so dumb. Apologize. Many governments blocked internet access and became apparent that the unprecedented uprisings were largely feeding off of one another. In other words, disgruntled citizens tired of keeping their mouths shut and living shitty lives in country X became emboldened by the demonstrators in country Y, which they could easily follow on social media. I don't feel we should call their countries shitty. It's not their countries, it's the f***ing regime that runs them. This is like across the board. Generally, like, I don't know, I've traveled a lot, I've met a lot of people from a lot of different countries, and it's like, people are always great. Countries are usually great. Governments fucking suck. Like, especially dictatorship governments. It's like, you meet anyone from any country, you're gonna find, who's got shit in common with you, you can find something to talk about, you won't think they're an idiot. Like, I'm sure I could talk to North Koreans, who are like ideologically very different from me. Like, but then you sit down and you're like, oh, you're fairly normal. Outside of North Korea, they'll probably be like, yeah, government sucks, bro. North Korea, Kim Jong-il. That dickhead. But it's not the country, it's not the people, it's the people in charge. Them. Some governments, shocked by the force and suddenness of the protests, proposed sweeping social changes, but in most cases it was too little too late. The citizens stubbornly refused to be placated. So they did what uber-wealthy dictators intent on holding onto their slice of the good life always do. They resorted to violence to quell the insurrections. Shocker. In Egypt, hundreds were killed and maimed before Hosni, I didn't know that was his first name, Mubarak fled the country. The history lesson ends here, but it's from this cheery backdrop, dear viewer, that premium shoe, apparel and accessory designer and businessman icon Kenneth Cole decided to tweet, "Millions in uproar in #Cairo. Rumor is they heard our new spring collection is now available online." Are we running into an issue here? Because this is a very familiar story to me, and I think this is why I vaguely actually heard of Kenneth Cole. Did we cover this in the last one? This is the problem when I've got two writers and I don't do my job of telling Matthew to have a look at the first one. Or maybe it's not, maybe I did it on another video. Who cares? You're going to enjoy it for a second time. Woo! Or you could just skip ahead. But don't do that, I need the sweet watch time. Also, this is inappropriate, just as well. Maybe he didn't realize that Egyptians were losing limbs and faces and dying in clashes with government forces, or maybe he did and he didn't care. Maybe the New York big shots, students of P.T. Barnum and Oscar Wilde, or maybe their spring collection was just that good. It wasn't, no one cares. Either way, the tweet was deleted, but not as quickly as it should have been, and it upset a lot of people. Cole did release an apology, stating that he didn't mean to make light of a serious and historic situation. He should have stopped there, but he stupidly added, "I've dedicated my life to raising awareness about serious social issues." No, you haven't, Kenneth. You've dedicated your life to building a premium clothing company. It'd be like me saying, "I've dedicated my life to clearing up business." It's like, no, I've dedicated my life to making shitty YouTube videos. And in hindsight, my attempt at humor regarding a nation liberating themselves against oppression was poorly timed and absolutely inappropriate. It's a good apology. In his own words, he admitted to doing exactly what he said, making light of a serious and deadly situation. For a change, wouldn't it have been refreshing to hear something like, "I've dedicated my life to designing shoes and making money." Yeah, Kenneth, come on. You don't like it? Off and buy Tom McCann's at Target. I have no idea what Tom McCann's is. I've been to a Target. I would have appreciated the candor. But sadly, there weren't any great lessons learned, because a few years later in 2013, in reference to the debate on whether to put US troops in Syria, Cole tweeted, "Oh, this is going to be good, isn't it? It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Boots on the ground or not, let's not forget about sandals, pumps and loafers. #footwear. Kenneth, all he had to do, we talked about this before, just learn a lesson. You don't need to apologize. You're the person I talk about, Kenneth, who apologizes and then fucking does it anyway, later, again.
Don't do that again.
Just don't apologize, just don't do it again, Kenneth. It's probably okay, you're probably old and dumb. American Riot 14. This is fucking long, isn't it, guys? Do you like these epic blazes? Because, I mean, I had to get water because my throat was starting to hurt. I've made really long videos and I do podcasts, but I get all shouty in Business Blaze. American Rifleman's bad timing. What the fuck is American Rifleman? I mean, is it literally an American Rifleman? Or is that a brand? It doesn't sound like a very good brand, like American Apparel, American Rifle. Okay, hunting goods, maybe. In July of 2012, another mass shooting rocked the nation when in Aurora, Colorado, during a midnight showing of the film The Dark Knight Rises, then 24-year-old James Egan Holmes set off a tear gas canister in the theater before killing, I remember this. This was brutal, and injuring dozens more in a barrage of gunfire as they fled. It was one of the deadliest events of its kind in history, yet it was dwarfed by the infamous Columbine High School massacre that took place in rural Colorado in 1999. What the f*** is wrong with Colorado? In which there were 82 victims? Columbine had 82 victims? That's f***ing crazy. I can't believe that. Hey Siri, how many people were killed in the Columbine massacre? Why do I even try? Hey Siri, how many people were killed in the Columbine massacre? Fucking nothing. Yeah, it was 15 and 24 injured. What are you talking about, Matthew? I was like, I don't remember it being that bad. Facts, apparently not something we do very well at Business Place. Minutes after the shooting, Holmes was found in his car outside the cinema and arrested. At the trial, he confessed to shooting but pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. He was found guilty of all charges, including first-degree murder and possessing explosives in July of same year, and received multiple sentences that amounted to life in prison without the possibility of parole, though prosecutors had sought the death penalty. How the f*** did he not get the death penalty? I don't know how I feel on the death penalty, but in this case I'll be like, yeah, kill him. But while the nation's waking residents wrestled with the aftermath of another catastrophe, a pre-programmed Twitter account at American Rifleman chirped to life, posting, "Good morning, shooters. Happy Friday. Weekend plans?" It's okay. It's scheduled ahead of time. I gotta cut them some slack for that, but boy, is it not appropriate. For those who don't run in gun circles, National Rifleman is the official journal of the National Rifle Association, NRA, an organization that takes tons of heat representing gun owners and acting as an advocacy group for firearm manufacturers. The tweet was posted at just past 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the company's official account, where it languished more than 3 hours before being pulled down. When the events of the previous night became common knowledge, a spokesman for the NRA said in a statement delivered on CNN, "A single individual unaware of events in Colorado tweeted a comment that is completely taken out of context." He added, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims, their families, and the community. NRA will not have any further comment until all the facts are known." Fair enough, fair enough. As they will, opponents of the organization that vehemently opposes gun control took to social media to express their disbelief and indignation, a sentiment that wasn't helped by conflicting reports about whether the post had been previously scheduled to go live at that time or posted by a real person who hadn't yet seen the news. Concerns with the likelihood of copycat crimes at other venues, many theaters cancelled the movie altogether, while others beefed up security. Ironically, in many states, gun sales increased significantly directly after the shooting, and the great gun debate raged on. Of course it did. Though it's evident that there was no maliciousness on the part of American Rifleman or the NRA, it shows that when bad timing and pre-scheduled tweets collide, they can be seriously detrimental to a company's image, no doubt. Number 15, we're getting there. We've only got a lot more pages left. This is the most epic of epic blazes. Matthew's gone overboard. I don't even know what the word count on this was, but it was massive. And then I had all my shit, so it gets really big.
Ha! Gay!
15 Epicurious Hawk Scones. Scones. Scones? Scones. Scones in the UK, scones in America. That's my guess. After the Boston Marathon bomb... Why is it with the Boston Marathon? People trying to sell shit around that. There was just something about the Boston Marathon bombing that made it a giant lemon that hapless marketers and social media managers couldn't stop themselves from sucking. In the first noteworthy fail after the bombing, food and cooking website Epicurious figured that nothing would alleviate the stress of losing a limb or a loved one in a heinous terrorist attack like a warm scone. What the f***? Curious. If only the marketing department at Adidas would have taken note, they might have saved themselves a significant headache down the road. But whereas they waited until 2017 to step in it, Epicurious did it almost immediately after the tragic events of April the 15th, 2013. The closer you get to the event, the worse it is. That's a fact. PR department, Simon, I can save your problems. I can save you. Boasting nearly 500,000 Twitter followers, Epicurious thought they could help them all cope and sell some grub by tweeting the following. In honor of Boston and New England, may we suggest whole grain cranberry scones. Oh, there's still a little water in there, whoops. And Boston, our hearts are with you. Here's a bowl of breakfast energy we could all use to start the day. I don't understand how that is even possible. The tweets are insensitive and absurd, and it's a real mystery how one of them was sent out, let alone both. It is, isn't it? Epicurious did delete them and post an apology. It said, "We truly regret that our previous food posts seemed offensive." Bro, Epicurious, they didn't seem anything. They were offensive, clearly. Our hearts and prayers are with the people of Boston. The problem here is that their tweets didn't seem offensive, they were offensive. Yes, Matthew, same page. They should have substituted seemed with were, and by doing so, they would have saved themselves from additional backlash from their unsatisfactory apology. Number 16, fatal plane crashes aren't funny. No one needs this explained to them, except for Southwest Airlines. In the winter of 2005, at Chicago's Midway Airport, a Boeing 737 from Baltimore touched down on a snowy runway and slid into a residential street adjacent to airport property. Don't live near the airport, folks. It's not just loud, it's also dangerous. I mean, statistically it's not. Statistically it's loud, but statistically it's not dangerous. You're probably going to be fine. But I mean, it's got to be pretty terrifying just chilling out having some breakfast. A Boeing 737 comes through the wall. Photos show the massive Southwest Airlines aircraft covered in snow and resting precariously between parked cars under a traffic light. Or maybe they weren't the ones that up. Maybe, they crashed their plane. They f***ed that up pretty bad. But maybe they didn't do the social media fail. Though the accident didn't take the lives of any of the plane's passengers or crew, as it skidded to a stop, 2 cars became trapped underneath and a 6-year-old boy who had been riding in one of them was killed. After the incident, oh god, how are we going to commercialize this? After the incident, passengers said the landing seemed normal at first, but then when the plane failed to decelerate and eventually hit the rumble strips at the end of the runway, they knew they were in serious trouble. Yeah, they do.
Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're wanted on the phone.
Fast forward to March 2013, thousands of miles across the Atlantic to Luton Airport. One of 5 major airports in London, also arguably the shittiest airport, located... Luton Airport is a nightmare. I'll tell you why. Every time I fly into Luton Airport, it's like, great, okay, so I'll go pick up my car. And it's like, oh, you gotta go to the car rental village, which is their nice way of saying it's miles away from the airport. So you have to get in a bus. And not just that, you get on a bus with employees of the airport. And that makes me sound like a mega snob, but I'll explain it. Because you've got people who work at an airport and they've just got off like a 15-hour shift or something. And they're like, all of them get off at once, they all cram onto the bus and they're all talking, like, I mean, this happened once to be fair, but they're all talking super loudly and I just got off a long flight and I'm like, I just wanna shh. And so I'm riding on this bus to the car rental village. Like 15 minutes later you arrive there and you're like, great. And then on the way back you gotta drop your car off in the car rental village and take the bus back. And like, fuck you, Luton. F you. How about you get rid of the idea of being a village and you make it a counter in the fucking airport? Oh god, we were on a rant. Located about 20 minutes from downtown on the northwest side of the city, where a bored and possibly brain-dead employee posted a picture of the 737 from the aforementioned Chicago crash on the airport's official Facebook page with the words, "Because we're such a super airport, this is what we prevent you from when it snows. We..." Smiley face. Bro, someone died. Off. Had it been a picture of a crash in which nobody was injured or killed, it probably still wouldn't have been funny, because plane crashes just aren't. But astute Facebook users pointed out that the crash had resulted in the death of a 6-year-old child. The picture remained up for more than an hour before being taken down, after which an airport spokesperson apologized for the incident, saying it was wholly unacceptable and insensitive, adding, "We have social media guidelines that clearly outline what is acceptable. However, in this instance, a new, over-enthusiastic, that's one way to describe them, member of our support team made an honest but misguided mistake and clearly stepped over the line. We apologize for any offense caused. Further steps have been taken to guarantee that it never happens again, and hopefully it won't. Because, as we all know, you can apologize, just don't fucking do it again. That's the trick. Don't do it again." A grand finale of distasteful retweets. How exciting. I like how retweets, you can almost say it like retweets. Like it's its own separate special word. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've been here for like an hour. I'm going crazy. Number 17, American Airlines does it again and again. "Hey American Airlines, you suck big ass. Thanks for your continued support." What? Oh, okay, so there's obviously an automated Twitter response or something. From this fictitious example, oh, okay, this is a fictitious example. Could have led with that.
How did you know everything in advance?
You really want to know?
I want to know. I really want to know.
Okay. I know because I've read the script.
It's clear that automatic retweets may not be the way to go when interacting with customers. A similar thing happened one morning when a worker at American Airlines social media agency noticed that at American Air had just thanked a guy named Mark Murphy, who in a tweet called American Airlines the largest, shittiest airline in the world. I've flown with American Airlines a couple of times. Agreed. Although they'll be given a run for their money by British Airways, who also, all these big famous, you kind of suck. The Germans, the Asians, Emirates, they know how to do airlines. Is Qatar an Emirate? It's not, it's its own separate country. But all of those like Middle Eastern airlines, way better than anyone else. It was in reference to their recent merger with rival US Airways that did make them the world's biggest airline. AA's Autobot didn't pick up the insult, however, and thanked him for his kind words. But their problem with automation got worse the following year, when their official Twitter account retweeted a picture of a woman with a plastic toy jetliner protruding from her vagina. Fucking hell. Whoops. Insert crash landing joke here. Ba-da-boom-boom. Number 18, the New England Patriots racist tweet. They're a football team, an American football team. The NFL's the National Football League, I think. New England's Patriots found themselves in hot water in late 2014 when their Autobot tweeted a racial slur from the team's official account. Whoops-a-doodle. Ironically, it happens largely because the team had been the first to reach an impressive milestone, 1 million followers on Twitter. To celebrate the occasion, users were encouraged to retweet messages previously posted by the team, after which they'd be rewarded with an automated message showing their Twitter handle on a team jersey. I can see where this is going. Companies have made this mistake many times. Unfortunately, one slick user got the bot to tweet out a jersey with "I hate N-words." Classy. An agonizing hour elapsed, and 1,500 retweets later, management apologized and blames the incident on a faulty filtering system. Yeah, guys, I mean, look, I have some familiarity with filtering systems because on YouTube, in the comments, if you post something like that, or literally any words that I don't like, on some of the channels, I actually just included pronunciation in there because I got sick of people telling me to pronounce things the American way or the correct way. I just don't care, so I just blocked pronunciation, anything like that is all blocked. And also, if you look at that page of words where you can just type in shit, it is the filthiest page you can imagine. Come on, Patriots, get it together. FYI, about 70% of the players in the NFL are African American. Number 19, Puma loves cocaine. Yeah, they do! Global sportswear giant Puma, or Puma, as we say in the UK, got bit by the same bug during their Forever Faster a few months before. The company encouraged fans to tweet the hashtag #ForeverFaster to see their Twitter names printed on personalized cards that would be signed by some of the brand's most famous ambassadors, like Usain Bolt and someone else, Radamel Falco. No idea who that is. But like the New England Patriots, their system got tricked into tweeting a number of unsavory messages, including one German soccer star, Marco Reus, whose autographed photo was emblazoned with the message, "Cocaine. Couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do this without you either," allegedly. Number 20, Oreo's racist tweet. There's so much racism. Everyone's a racist. Oreos may be one of America's favorite cookies, but that doesn't make their manufacturer immune to social media blunders. A few years ago, their official Twitter account automatically generated the following tweet: @N-word. Sweet. Click here for a chance to get a free pack of our new limited editions. Oh, okay. So someone had the username, that inappropriate username, and that's how I guess they got past the filter. The company attributed the offense to a feature on their account that automatically responds to anyone during a promotion or giveaway using their Twitter name, whatever it may be. How about you don't do that then? I mean, so many companies have done this. Just stop it. Hire someone, you're Oreo. What do you want to bet that feature no longer exists? Well, I don't know. Almost said Danny. I don't know, Matthew. Seeing as companies continuously seem to make this error, and there are a dozen examples, I'd say not. It does. It does exist. Number 21. Oh my God, we're finally at the end. I need to sit down. In 2015, 21, Coca-Cola have a Coke and a Nazi, and it's crossed out smile. So, and a smile, but it says Nazi instead. In 2015, Coca-Cola wisely hit the pause button on its Super Bowl themed #MakeItHappy social media campaign that'd been designed as a way for users to respond to negative tweets with positive ones. But when one user tricked the system into retweeting a number of lines from Mein Kampf, they were left with a big glob of egg on their proverbial corporate face. Now, I can't say that I'm sad that this one's over. That was long. Look, these videos, as I said at the beginning, I don't make them so much because they take way longer. It's almost lunchtime and I started this when I got to work. I don't know what to do. Maybe click on an ad. Maybe purchase some merch if you feel like it. Purchasethemerch.co if you want to do that. Certified Legend shirts and honestly tons of other shit. You're bound to find something you like. And I'll try and not promote it with a racist tweet. Thank you for watching, everybody. It's been fun. My voice needs a rest. Facts, apparently not something we do very well at Business Place.